Hello and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the Hangar, the Mars Rover, and the Big Crusher. This is going to be a video that's going to cover a lot, so we're going to go ahead and jump straight into it. So in order to build the Hangar, you're going to need a lot of material and also a lot of space. It is a huge building and it's quite difficult to place, but you can attach it to your base. You will have some problems at the start getting the ramp down, but every time you load and reload back in, it almost feels like it lowers itself, and you'll struggle to lift it back up, and it's a bit buggy, but for now it's fine, it works. So we have this building here. Now as we go inside the Hangar, once it's been built, I'll just give you a quick tour. The first thing we have as we come in, so let's just come through this. You have to create an airlock, otherwise you're effectively outside. So this is our base. We have our double airlock that we come through, and this brings us to our garage. So here we can click here to access our containers, our heavy rover, and we can drag things from the container. We can move them across, and we can do that. We can use this machine to be able to pick stuff up, put it onto there, and swap out containers and trailers and things like that. So that's something we can play with later. Over here we have charging. This is 3 charging ports, and you have the ability here to charge. You can choose how much power you want to give to a vehicle, and please be careful, because if you don't have enough charge coming in, you can kill your base by charging your vehicle. So it's a good idea to limit the amount of power. This is also where the open and close door is, and as you can see, it's buggy at the moment. It won't close. It's a bit of a nightmare. It's just a known bug in the game. It's fine. You know what? It's not a problem. It just means you can't close it, but it's okay for now. So you just need to be aware. Like, it's starting to. Can you see how that sand is starting to move? So you just have to keep doing this until you get rid of all of that sand. So just keep clicking, 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 and eventually, there you go. Eventually, it will close, and then you can press and hold it to open it. So press and hold to open. It will go down. But now when it goes down, actually it's not too bad. There's a bit of a lip here. You see the lip? And so if you try and bring your ATV in here, you're going to go flying. So just be a little bit aware of that. You want to try and open it. Keep it open as much as you can. You want to kind of play about with it like this. The best thing to do is to reload into the game. And as you do, you'll find it's a bit lower. So yeah, a little bit of a bug. Not really much you can do about that at the moment. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk about quickly is the Rover. Well, before the Rover, because there's no point. You can buy the Rover, you can build the Rover, but you're not really going to benefit until you can build a small or big crusher. Now, the small crusher is this ramp. It's very similar to this, but it is just a ramp with a small computer. The big crusher, which is this one, the big crusher has a bigger box, and it has 2 boxes here, which are extra. And what the big crusher allows you to do is you can not only look at your inventory of all of your resources, the same as you could with a printer. You can print. Now, if I wanted to print something, for example, let's say I wanted to build a crusher. I look at a small rock crusher. It will tell me all of the materials that are required to build this. I can then click on print or to add, and it will take from my resources. It will take all of the resources in order to create all of the equipment so that I can then go ahead and build that small crusher. Here you can see the items being printed. Pretty cool. Also, you can build and swap out containers. So here I can click on semi-trailers. All of my containers are available. I drag them from here and I place them onto here. So if I wanted to cancel my printing, I can do that. I can just click on all these cancels. And let's say I want to make a container. So now I click container and I can print it. Oh, sorry. I made a mistake there. I click on container and I add. Okay, and now it is going to print a container for me. Now, in the latest update of the game, I can also go to my blueprints. I can go down to my garage. And I can also get a container or a tipper from here as well. But you can see the Hangar requires a lot of material, a lot of cement, a lot of material. So you're probably going to need a level 3 grinder at least to be able to build this. or you're going to need the rover and the tipper, because that is going to help you. And that's one of the problems you're going to have as you're looking at resources, is this small rock crusher takes 25 cement. And that's a really hard thing to acquire at the start. It takes a lot of materials. So level 3 grinder, definitely recommended before you do the small rock crusher. And as soon as you've unlocked it, go for the big rock crusher. It's a great, great, great tool to have. Okay, so now we can see we have our container. It is printing. It looks like it's just finished. There it is. Well, it was there. It's now going to be in that side. So I can click on semi-trailers. Here it is. I can put it onto here, but there is no nothing on here. So let's go and get our rover. So we talked about the hangar. We've explained everything about the hangar. We've talked about the big rock crusher, which does need power, by the way. You will need to power it. It takes 20. And the hangar takes 10. So that's 30 power in total. I'm going to just... I don't need to unplug this. If you drive away, it will unplug itself. But let's have a quick look at the rover. If you haven't seen one before. In fact, before we do that, let me just drive it out of the garage. We're just going to back it out. It is a huge... I mean, look at it compared to the size of the ATV. It is absolutely huge. And you do need to get used to the controls. I'm just going to talk you through this right now. And I'm just... I want you to kind of get an idea. So if I stand next to this ATV, look at the size compared from the ATV to the rover. It's absolutely massive. Does the same speed... but it does, you're not going to knock this over. Even if you floor it over a cliff face, you'll just roll around and you'll land again. This thing never falls over. Okay, so we have the rover at the top. And we have the trailer at the back. You cannot remove the trailer, but you can remove the tipper. So I'll show you how to do that in a minute. On this side, we have another side here. This has inside it... I'll just show you. These are Rover power extensions. I can take one out. You can print them. As you print them, put them into your inventory. From your inventory, you will select them. And then if you hover over here, there's a spot. You'll see it becomes available. And you place it in by clicking. You can put 4 in there. It gives you more power. You can do the same with the oxygen. So if you get the Rover oxygen extension... you can do the same thing, so you'll be able to do that. Put your oxygen bottles in there, but it has to be the rover extension bottles. So if I take this out, there we go, rover extension bottle. It looks slightly different, so we can take that out, put that in there, and then we can put up to 6 of those in there. Now, I'm not sure if they're available yet. I can't remember seeing them on the printer. I will go and check. Again, it might be here that it's only on the big crusher. But we can search for that. We can go to printing. We can type in rover. And I don't think it's there. So, oxygen. I don't think we can print those just yet. I don't think it's available. I know snowman's not available. There's the oxygen bottle, but I think that's not... It's not available, but also I don't think that's the rover oxygen bottle. So maybe I need to unlock it. It's not available. It's not in the game just yet. So that will obviously be coming later. But we can make tankers later as well. We'll be able to make big tankers. Lots of stuff that we'll be able to do later. And I'm sure we'll be able to put these on the back of the rover and move stuff. So that will be cool later. So at the moment, the rover is maxed out. I've got as much in there as I can. There's a bed so you can sleep. Up the top here, there's a container here. I've not taken out the helmet because I don't need to. But there is also an additional CO2 and an additional water bottle in there. As you can't create them yet and can't craft them, it does give you an extra one. Also, this screen here, if I was to open this, I can open and close this. If you close it, there we go. If you open this, this is the screen, and just look at all of that storage available in the rover. So much storage. I've also put my spare O2 and H2O in there, so I've always got them on me. It's good to have a few items if you're going on a road trip. You can harvest lots of bases. You can fill this up. You can stay out for days and days on time. It has its own oxygen supply. You can charge your power from your suit from here. But just be aware that if you do that, you're going to be taking battery away from the rover. Close the door. Now that the door is closed, because I'm using that oxygen source, I can take my helmet off if I want. I'm not going to, but I can. And then we have our displays. So this is our battery and our oxygen levels that we can see. Up here, we can see some other stuff. Let me just sit in the chair. So this is our speed, our battery, with our battery extensions. We're not on power save mode. We don't have any semi-trailers connected. And our oxygen level. Here we can see the power consumption for the lights. We can turn these on. Left lights, back lights, and headlights. And this takes up quite a lot of power. And on this side we have headlights down, right lights, and crane lights. So again, if we're working at night, we can work through the night sitting in here. Lock differential if you're struggling to get over terrain. Transport mode if you're moving and you need to put your crane away. Rear camera in case you need to back up and see where you're going, so you can do that. And you can also attach the hook if you need to. So if I detach the hook, you can see what that's doing now. It's actually dropping my trailer off the back. So I can drop my trailer onto the ground and I can drive off and I can leave it. And I can put a different one on, and if I back up to it to a point where I'm there, I look inside and I can attach hook. In doing so, what that's going to do is it's going to bring the container or the tipper back onto my truck. Okay, so now I've done that. Let's go and let's show you what it's like to drive. So we're going to drive. Feels very slow. I promise you it's not. If we go inside, you'll see 33 kilometers an hour. Same speed as the ATV. And this is what it looks like to drive. Depending on the view you like, you can have the big or the small view. We're going to come over here. Now, depending on the skill tree you've got, if you have unlocked the drill piece will automatically be added to your rover. If you've unlocked the welding piece, the same. The welding piece will automatically be added. Now, I can press the tab key, and that will open the arm to my rover. It also rotates me. So if I press tab, I rotate from driving to crane operator. And I can press tab when I'm either inside or outside. I can use V to change my view from third person to first person. Okay, so now I'm in here. I can see my crane tool. I've got my grabber, my welder, and my drill. At the moment, there are no hotkeys. We hope they come in the future. I'm just going to click on the drill, and you'll see the crane will take away the one that I had and put this one on instead. I now have a drill. I can use the mouse wheel to extend and to retract the arm. I can also use the left, right, up, down keys. And as a result of this, I am able to take this drill and I'm able to drill into this rock. I just place it down and it just works through. Nice and easy. Now, if you're struggling with this, if this view's not very good for you, come inside and click on crane camera. Now I can see where my crane is. So now I can move around and I can see exactly where I'm going to be placing it down. And I can work from within here. So I don't need to go out anymore. If it's red, it means it can't be picked up. As soon as I break that and it becomes smaller, I might need to move. Okay, so if I can pick it up, you'll notice it has a green plus on it. The green plus means it can be picked up. That means I can pick it up from where I am. So what I'm going to do is go back into my driving seat. And I'm going to move just a little bit closer. Just got to be careful with that arm, because if you hit something, yeah, you will do damage. But I'm just going to move a little bit closer. In fact, I'll just show you that if I drive into this, there you go. I've just broken it simply by driving into it. Okay, so now I'm at this point where I'm kind of close enough. It's a bit hard. You have to navigate it. It takes a little bit of practice, but you'll get there. And it's fun to play with. But once I get to where I want to be, I come back to my arm, go inside, and I want to change to the grabber. Again, I can use the crane camera if I want, so I can just watch it change. It's pretty cool. I can then move over. I can extend out if I need to. So as I extend out, I come down, I open up left mouse button. I come all the way down. I left mouse button again. I pick this up, spin it around with my mouse, and I drop it in the trailer. that has now gathered those resources. I'm going to do the same thing again. Let me find another one. So here we go. I grab that, pick it up, and I drop it in the trailer. Perfect. Now, as I start to pick things up, and I'm just going to move again because I'm a little bit too far away from some of this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is move over to this side. There's loads and loads of stuff here that I've pre-mined that's kind of ready to go. And also I like this getting dark because I can then show you what it's like to mine at night. So I'm going to move over here. All of these really big bits that are ready to go. I'm going to stop just here. Press my tab key. And again, you'll find a view that works best for you. But you'll pick stuff up and you will place it in the back. Like so. If I look inside, in the bottom right hand corner, you can see my space for my container. So as I pick something up and I put it in the back, watch the blue line. Where's the back? Watch the blue line on the bottom right hand corner. You see how it goes up? Okay, so this is basically showing you how full your container is. So I'm going to pick all of this stuff up. I'm going to put it in the back. Now, not only is this a lot quicker than using the drill, but also I'm getting, because I'm using the bigger pieces, I'm getting all of the additional. Do you remember when we were doing this before, we were only able to use the drill and we got small pieces. We got the main component. Well, now what we're able to do, because we're picking up these bigger pieces, is not only are we getting the main component, we are also able to get the sub-components. What I mean by that, if I just jump out, we'll go down and we'll look at a rock, for example. So there was something on the floor there. I don't know what that was. Okay, so there's some aluminium there. So this is ready to pick up. If I go to my... There we go. It says ready to load. That means if I was to load that... let me just get my spectral analyzer. If I break that down, I'm going to get aluminium less than 100. But if I load this, I'm going to get 106 aluminium, 26 silicon, 5 iron, and some calcium as well. So I get the subcomponents because I'm not breaking it down. And that is why it is so much more beneficial to be able to come along in your rover, drill everything you need to drill, and pick everything up. Now, because it's getting dark and it's nighttime, I'm going to put my lamp on. So there's my headlamps. I can also put on my headlamps down if I don't want the big ones on. So that's for driving. But if I chuck on all of the lights at the moment, just to show you what it looks like. There we go. We are fully lit up. Now I can come along with my crane. I've got all the lights I possibly need. I can come along at night time. And I'm safe inside. I'm nice and warm. I've got oxygen. I can spend as much time as I need now in this rover. Traveling around and just picking up as many resources as I want. And this is a great way for you to be able to farm, to be able to pick up the stuff you need. Takes a little bit of playing to get used to it, but once you get there, you get these big bits. If you try and drop a big piece in and it doesn't go in, just drop it in lower. What I mean by that is pick it up and just put it in here and then let go, and it will definitely go in. So sometimes the big bits struggle to go in, but we can do it. And yeah, you can see we're almost full at the moment. We'll go back to the camera. We're going to pick up these last little pieces here, put them in. And it's kind of a fun little mini game. It's definitely different to what you've been doing. And when you get to this stage of the game, you'll now look back and go, I can't believe I spent so much time mining all of those rocks. That's it. So we're pretty full. We're not completely full, but we're pretty full. So at that stage, we're going to go into transport mode. We're going to go back and you'll see this will start to put the crane away. And we're going to head back to our base. Now, the reason that I say you need the crusher is because if you don't have the crusher and you do all of that hard work, you cannot offload the materials. So you need the crusher to be able to offload the materials. So we're going to drive on. The way that we're going to do this is we're going to swing all the way around here. And we're going to drive onto the crusher. And I'm going to show you how you can unload the crusher just to complete this video. So we're going to swing around. And we're going to bring it in and we're going to bring it onto the ramp. Oh, there's something that I destroyed earlier that's there. It's kind of still registering as a hit marker. It's a little bit annoying. It's freaking out a little bit at the moment. But again, this is early access, so we have to expect there's going to be a couple of little problems. Some things like that. They'll fix them. I wouldn't even worry about them. It's not a big problem. I just need to remember that it's there. Okay, so I'm going to line up. I'm going to come onto the crusher. It might be beneficial for you at this stage to go inside the cockpit. Make sure your crane arm is down or it will smack on that and you'll go all over the place. But try and line up. Get yourself on here. Go forward until that stop sign. When you're in the right place, you'll know because this will stop and it will say unloading zone. So you have to stop here. If I stop too early, doesn't matter. If I stop too late, it doesn't matter. You have to be at the right place and it says this. Then you click, bring your mouse down and click unload. Once I do that, it says unloading in progress. If I zoom out, I'll be able to see it unloading going into the crusher. So that's it going into the crusher. I see the progress, 70%, still finishing, and now it's complete. Now it's done, I can drive off. And that's it. I can drive off, and at this stage, I've placed it in a way that I can just drive straight into my hangar, and then I'm done. I can now jump out of my truck, turn all my lights off, which is definitely beneficial to do because otherwise it's going to drain power if you don't do that. Unfortunately, right now there are no hotkeys for this. I'm sure they will come in the future, but until they do, we're going to come outside. And because where we are inside our hangar, we're going to take our electric cable, which I think I've just run over. And the electric cable goes right here. This is where you plug in the electric cable, and it is also where you will plug in an oxygen source. If you plug in oxygen here, you can refresh the oxygen. So you'll need to have an oxygen source as well to be able to do that. If I come across to here now, we'll see that this is a fast charge. It's putting 200 kilowatts of power into this from my bank to be able to charge up this rover. And that's it. And then if I come across to the big crusher, the last thing to show you, which I'm sure you'll be happy with. And by the way, a little note here. Do not fall down this hole. Do not fall down this hole. If I come across here and I open this, or if I leave the truck on here, this will be open. If you fall in there, you will die. You will die. So do not do that. Do not fall in there. If you're going to come nearby, save it first. Don't risk it. What you can do, though, is if you've got things that you don't want. So, for example, if there's something that I don't want, you can drop it the same way you would drop something in a bin. You can drop it in here and you will get resources for it. So that is another good thing to know. So if you want to stack up all of your empty seed containers, or if there's anything you don't want anymore, you can recycle it in here. Come across to our inventory and there is all of our resources. As you can see, we have an absolute abundance. We have so much. When we look at what we have in aluminium now, and we haven't really done that many runs. We've only done a few runs, but just to give you an idea of just how many resources we now have. Look at the calcium, the amount of calcium we have. We have so much. So many resources. Iron, silicon as well. We have loads of silicon as well. We even found some uranium as we were out. So we were able to farm some uranium, which was nice. But yeah, lots there. And you can see, look, you can have so much in here. You can really go crazy. You can farm so many materials. This is obviously future-proofing. So at the moment, you don't need all of this. But now I can come here and I can just print anything I want. So if you're going to start increasing your base and building your base out, this is how you will do it. So that concludes the video. We've talked about the hangar. We've shown you how you can charge, place vehicles in there, how you can move the door up and down. We showed you the rover. We showed you the incredible storage space, how it works, how you use it. And we've shown you the big crusher. There's a lot to cover in this video. These are definitely the bigger buildings at the moment that you can play with. And the only thing I'm going to leave you on now just to end this is when you unlock the remote controls. So when you finally unlock the remote controls, you are going to be able to use this with the rover. That means that you're going to be able to drive this rover if I was to shut this door, and if I am outside, if I go outside, because it doesn't work inside buildings, unfortunately, but if I go outside, I can now drive the Rover. And look, I'm actually driving the Rover. So I need to be here, but I've got a camera. So I can now stay at my base. And as a result of doing that, I can now, look, I'm driving my Rover remotely. In the future, in future updates, I will be able to do this from within my control tower. I'll be able to operate the crane and everything. That means I can send the Rover out on autonomous missions. Or not necessarily autonomous missions, but remote missions. I can stay in my base and I'll be able to work from the comfort of here. I don't even need to go outside anymore, and that's all coming soon. So, lots of stuff we've covered today. Hopefully that's been beneficial for you and helped you understand everything you need to do. The last part, which I haven't covered, which I will just go through because I want to remember this. And in fact, we'll do this remotely. We'll do this remotely so you'll be able to see this. Let me just hydrate to get rid of that music. Here we go. So what we're going to do here is we're going to remotely now. We're going to remotely drive this Rover. We're going to try not to kill ourselves in the process. Hopefully we don't. We're going to back this up. There it is. It's gone. Alright, now what we're going to do, we're going to drive this around. Okay. And I'm just using the W, A, S, and D key. Hopefully we'll be able to see our Rover. There it goes. So we're going to keep going this way. We're going to start to bring it round. Oh, we've run out of range. That's as far as the range goes. So, unfortunately, we can't go any further at the moment. We need to come over here. That's it. Then we do the same thing again. So, limited range until you upgrade it. You can upgrade it to get better range. But that's going to take a bit of time. So, we're going to bring this round to the crusher. Hopefully, we don't get this wrong. Alright, let's bring this round. Did I mess it up? No, I think we're good. There we go. So we brought this up onto the crusher. Alright, this is now on the crusher. Fantastic. So we can now stop where we need to stop. Alright, now let's go and see it. Now, because it's on the crusher and it's in the space where it needs to be, I might need to move it forward a little bit. Oh, I just died. That's unfortunate. I don't know how. I don't know how. Oh, I think I was exhausted. I think I fell over because I'm exhausted and I'm hungry. But, yeah. All good fun. Let's open this door. Come inside. Alright, so we're in our unloading zone, which is great. Now we're in our unloading zone. We can come across to here. Go to semi-trailers. And we have a container. We can swap the container and apply. What that is going to do is this crane is going to come out. The crane is going to pick up our tipper container, which is now empty. And it is going to replace this with a storage container. It takes a while to do this. But it is a really cool animation to behold. We can also do this from within our hangar. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to move one of these into the hangar. Okay, so that is now moved. And now we have our storage container. So we're going to go ahead and jump into our Rover. We can't do anything at the moment because obviously we're waiting because of the container being loaded. But as soon as that's done, we'll be able to use this. So almost there. Great, that's now been loaded. Now we'll be able to use our... Oh, I think it's still... Oh, it's still moving, so you've got to wait for the animation to completely finish before we can do anything. Perfect. Now we should be able to... There we go. Now we can use our seat. Okay, so now we're going to drive off with our container on the back. We're going to drive this straight in here. I've not actually done this yet, so we're doing this together for the first time. I can't drive either, to be fair, but that's fine. We're going to try and back up here, see if we can back up. If it's not working, if you're not able to, put the diff lock on. So go inside, Chuck the diff lock on. It's a great example of using this. That's it. Now we've got the differential. We'll be able to drive better. It makes it a lot easier. This is the problem with the ramp. Again, if I reload, I'll be able to get in there okay. It's just a bit of a bug at the moment where you struggle to get in. That's it. Now we're in. Okay, great. Now we're in. So now that we're in, we're going to jump out. We're going to come across to our computer. To this one here. And we are going to click this to use it. And what we're going to do is we're going to... we can't do that at the moment because we're not facing the right way. So we can drag and drop a trailer we want to use on a heavy rover. So because of the way we've actually placed ourselves, this is no good. We need to actually turn ourselves around. We need to back in because obviously that crane needs to be able to lift that up. So we're going to go in the middle. We're going to back in. Okay. And we're going to put this container, here we go, in the middle. So make sure we turn it the right way. It is very, very, very hard to navigate this thing, but it's good fun. Good fun to learn, to practice. As they used to teach you in HGV, level up the truck first. And you turn the opposite way that you want the trailer to go. So unfortunately in this game, the mechanics, they're a little bit buggy, but you'll get the hang of it. Probably better to level up first going forward, and then it should be easier to go back. This isn't working, so we're going to go back this way. It's a bit weird, the controls. They don't work the way they should at the moment, but I'm sure the developers will fix that in time. For now, it just is what it is. It's fine. So we're going to go forward. We're going to try and get ourselves nice and straight here. Okay, and then we're going to back up one last time. Okay, there we go. Nice and straight back this time. Again, it'll be a lot easier if you reset and this is level, because at the moment trying to back into this thing is quite difficult. We're going to go in the middle. Make sure we go in the middle here. There's only space for one rover in here, unfortunately. Okay, so now we're in. I don't actually know how far in we need to go. Hopefully that's far enough. Maybe we'll go back a bit more just to make sure. We're up against the wall, so we'll leave it just there. We'll hope for the best. It is also possible that this isn't working in the game yet. I think it is, but it's possible it's not. I think we might need to come back a little bit more for this to work. I don't think we're gonna. Oh no, there you go. So we've got that. We can't use it yet, but later what we should be able to do is drag that from there to there. So I don't think it works right now. I think we need to wait for it. Maybe in the next update we'll be able to do that. We are going to go back just a little bit more, just to check. Yeah, I think that's everything that we would need to do. Unfortunately, it's not working at the moment, but I think that may be just because it's not in the game just yet. And be very careful if you're doing that, because it's going to make it very, very hard. And yeah, I can't click this. It won't interact just yet. So I don't think at the moment we can do that. It feels like it's lined up. I'll find out. I'll look into what we need to do here for this to work. But yeah, we should be able to drag this off of here to the hangar, and then we can store 2 containers within here, and I believe they will be stored around here somewhere. So, or maybe either side. I don't know, but we'll wait for another update before that works. But that's something you'll be able to do later. The really cool thing about the containers, I'll just show you this now, is that if I was to go to the back of the container, I just move forward a bit so I can get to it. If I go to the back here, I click on it, and then I can access it the same way as I can the rover. And this has an insane amount of storage. There is so much storage in here. It is ridiculous. You can store everything within this container. So one of the things you may want to do, just to start with, as you're kind of waiting to be able to load them properly, is you might want to just move this, get it to a place where you're comfortable, where you want it to be. For me, unfortunately, that ATV is in the way. And then you might just want to place it in the corner and leave it there for now. And I'm going to do that. Not on this video, but I'm going to play about with that, move it. And I'm going to store my container over in the corner there. And that way I have all of this material that I'll be able to store in my container. And I have an abundance of space. So, yeah, good things to play with, good things to do. Hope you had fun and you enjoyed this. And, yeah, please make sure you take some time practicing. It does take a little bit to get used to. But once you're there, once you've got used to it, it's quite easy. And remember, please be gentle with the developers. This is an early access game. There is still a lot of things that they are working on and improving. And so if it's not perfect and you do get a bit frustrated, just remember that. Remember it's early access and it will get better in time. It will get better in time. So that's all you need to worry about at this stage. So all good. All right, so my container is kind of stuck in a corner there. I got it almost where I want it to be. It's as close as I can be. I'm going to have to come inside. I'm getting smashed about all over the place here, so we're gonna try and straighten up. Try hard not to damage the not to damage it too much. All right, perfect. And then from here, I'll see if this works. We'll go inside. And we're going to detach the hook. And hopefully that's going to drop that off the back. No, there's not enough space to do that. That's fine. We'll do it here instead. Alright, let's try that again. See if we can do it now. So we're going to try and detach the hook. It's not the best place to dump it, I won't lie. It won't leave it there. I think it's still a little bit, unfortunately. And maybe we can't leave it there. Maybe we can't do that. So maybe it's something that you can only do outside. Let's have a look. We're going to try one more time, see if we can drop that. Will it drop this time? No, it will not drop. So we cannot drop them in here. That does not work. We have to use the machine. The machine's not working just yet, which is unfortunate. And that just means that we have to wait. So that's okay. We don't mind doing that. We'll wait for now. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for your time. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. And yeah, I look forward to the next one. Speak to you soon.